day Jesus was travelling through a town called Jericho. A great crowd of people followed him. Everyone from the town had turned out to see him and to hear what he had to say. Everyone? Well, there was one person who was still sitting in his office counting his money. His name was Zacchaeus. His job was to collect money off people to pay the authorities. But very often he would take a bit more than he needed to and keep the rest for himself, so he was very rich. As you can imagine, because of this, nobody liked him. Nobody wanted to be his friend. As he was sitting there, he overheard the people outside talking about Jesus. He thought to himself, I'd like to see him too. So he went outside and joined the crowd. But there was a problem. You see, Zacchaeus wasn't very tall. In fact, he was decidedly short and he couldn't see over the people in front. All he could see was people's backs, and nobody would let him in to see Jesus. Then he had an idea. He knew a sycamore tree that was easy to climb, that overlooked the road. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into this tree. Nobody will see me up here, he thought, but I can get to see Jesus as he goes by. Well, he was in for a big surprise. When Jesus came along the road, he looked straight up into the tree and said, Zacchaeus, come down straight away. I'm coming to your house today. Zacchaeus nearly fell out of the tree. He couldn't come down fast enough. He could hardly believe it. Nobody ever wanted to come to his house usually, and yet suddenly here was a very important person inviting himself to tea. He was so excited and happy. He took Jesus to his house and welcomed him in. But when some of the people outside saw what had happened, they started to grumble. What can Jesus be thinking of? Of all people, he's gone to be the guest of Zacchaeus, that sinner who is only rich because he cheats people out of their money. Meanwhile, there was food and drink and quite a party going on. There was something about Jesus that made Zacchaeus stop and think. It was obvious that Jesus knew all about his life and how he stole money off people, and yet he'd still wanted to come to his house and share a meal. Suddenly Zacchaeus felt sorry and ashamed for the way that he'd behaved. Being rich didn't seem important anymore. It was more important to do the right thing and to please his new friend. Look, Lord, he said, I'm going to give away half of my possessions to poor people. And as for those I've cheated, I'm going to pay them back 4 times as much as I've taken. Jesus looked at Zacchaeus. Today you've been rescued from your old way of life. That's why I came, to give people the chance to live a better way. Zacchaeus was so happy. From now on, life was going to be very different. And for the rest of his life, he would never forget the day when Jesus came to tea.